Hi, I'm Ron Jess for Jessfor30. We're back at the Brighton Barbecue Blues Smokin Rock-Blues Festival on Main Street. I don't know the name of it, but somewhat something like that. But
I think you hit all the names for it.
yeah,
There we go.
This is Dan Mulvihill, a good friend of mine from Brighton, the premier real estate man in the whole county, and just a great guy, a great friend from Catholic Central, the University of Michigan, catcher, and everybody loves Dan Mulvihill.
Well, Ron, you're making me blush already before we even started, you know? Hey, the acclimates are nice. And hopefully I can live up to everything you just said, you know?
Oh, well, you've been doing it for years. There's my wife, Michelle, walking by.
Hi, Michelle.
Welcome to the show, dear. You catch any sturgeons this year up at Black Lake?
Well, you're not allowed to catch. I mean, they're huge fish.
Yeah.
All right, and they have the Sturgeon Festival the first weekend in February, and they're only allowed to, they spear them, okay? So they're only allowed to take 6 fish off the lake at one time, and there's like probably close to 600 shanties out there, and in 1 hour it's done.
Huh. Well, we're on Houghton Lake. You know, we've been up there for about 8 years. We bought a home up there, beautiful home with my daughter, Christy.
Yeah.
And the beauty there was we kind of liked it. We had, you know, about 9 years ago. Nice thing if you buy it with a family member, we're not going up any more than we would normally go up. And we actually get up with all the family stuff we always do. But you know, one thing about Houghton Lake, it's the biggest inland lake in the state of Michigan, 22,000 acres.
Right.
I'll bet I can tell you something you don't know about Houghton Lake.
You probably could.
There's no fish in the lake. I fish there. They catch sucker fish off our backyard, these ugly black bony fish all spring. We throw things off. Oh, we catch bluegill and we catch perch, but they're about 2 inches long.
Well, isn't the tip-up town in there?
Yeah.
So they don't fish, they just drink on tip-out town, huh?
No, they take all the fish out in the winter, and then there's none left for us in the summer when we go out.
Well, that's why they call it fishing. See, it's not that easy. You just, you know, you got to go out and know what you're doing.
There are guys on the lake. I know them.
Yeah.
Usually, you know, the guys that live there, Dan, they know where to go.
They know the holes, they know the drop-offs, and that's the thing is, and you know, on Black Lake, I can remember when I first met Kathy back in '74. We'd go up there, and there was fishermen all over the place.
Yeah.
And every time we went out, 6-8 fish, northerns and walleye.
Yeah.
And then when we went back up after all the years the kids grew and we bought up there, fishing, I still catch fish, but it's not like you go out and I'm going to catch fish. Now I can go out and catch perch when I take the grandkids because that's a lot of fun. Seeing the grandkids catch fish and stuff like that. But when it comes to catching big ones, you know, every once in a while, I'll get myself a couple northerns, 27, 30 inches. But it's not like every time I go out, you know, I come back with a stringer of fish.
Well, let's not kid ourselves. Everybody knows that all this, you know, people fertilizing their lawns and stuff to kill a lot of our lakes.
Well, what's happened up there is the zebra mussels. And that's what the zebra mussels is taking away a lot of the fish food. And they're everywhere. They're on the rocks. They're on everything that is in the lake. And that has really hurt the population and growth of it because they stock it with walleye. They stock it with, you know, sturgeon. But sturgeon, even if you caught one, you got to throw it back. There's only allowed that, you know, number of out of the lake. So it's, I think it's more of some of the invasive species that are coming into our lakes too. And with regards to the septics and that, you figure way back when, most of these septic systems were dry wells.
Yeah.
They were, you know, there was no system. It was a big tank that, you know, you put in the ground and you just let it go. But, you know, they're cleaning that up. But Black Lake, the biggest thing is the invasive, the mussels in that, the zebra mussels.
Yeah, what's that Asian carp's another one coming up out of Chicago? Yeah, that's a mess. They have a channel there and they keep adding, you know about that, Dan? They keep adding areas to stop them.
Yeah.
But those movies are crazy where you see them knocking people out. They're jumping into the
The boats, yeah.
That,
Yeah.
that's,
We don't have that yet.
I want some fish to jump in my boat.
Makes fishing a lot easier then.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny, man. No, we just we don't. We go up there to hang out on the boat. Michelle and I go out. We on the Tri-Tune and just hang out. 22,000 acres and
Got a lot of lake.
a lot of. You know, it's interesting. If we go on a Tuesday or Thursday and spend the day out there in July or August, we won't see a boat. I'll take a video all the way around,
Yep.
and I won't see a boat. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's the same way up north. I mean, the 4th of July, Memorial Day is usually people coming and putting stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see it. It's still, pretty chilly. 4th of July and Labor Day are the two big weekends. And like after this last Labor Day, gone. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a few people that live up there, but other than that, you don't see. And Black Lake's 10,000 acres, so it's a good sized lake.
It is.
Yeah.
You and I, the last time we had a video, I remember making a comment, or maybe we're at T-Bones popping up
Right.
back. But I made the comment the times I've been in Black Lake in August or July. Man, we went out there in the morning and that water was freezing.
Yeah.
You said, no, there's warm water there, but I never saw it in Black Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Black Lake, the perimeter is all sand and it's real shallow.
Yeah.
So it's by shore, it's usually warm. But then once you get out, it's the deepest part of Black Lake is like 55 feet.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of the lake, but it's usually not too bad, especially when the kids come up. We take them to the sandbars and that, and it's like a foot and a half deep. So it's plenty good fun for the kids.
Yeah, we have that up there
Yeah,
too.
right, yeah.
We do, and
Yeah.
but ours is the deepest is probably 8 to 10 feet, so it's even
That's
more.
all?
Yeah, there's nothing deep there. In fact, if you go to the south side, let me tell you, when I take the Godfrey Monaco Tri-Tune, and it's a beautiful boat,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, but the wife's like, you know how that
Get
is.
that boat.
Hey, we get that boat, and I mean, I'm telling you, we're like in 6-8 inches. Oh, you go from
Yeah.
2 feet to 6 inches, and
Well, if you don't have a deep lake, that's probably why fishing ain't the greatest for big fish.
yeah,
They got to get into the deep.
yeah. And if you're talking zebra mussels, which I'm sure we also have,
Yeah.
that prevents all that algae and the weeds to grow.
Growth, which the fish feed on and hibernate and breed in,
Yeah. So, anything else new? What do you have to say? You've been in Brighton for longer than us. We've been here 30 years.
Yeah.
What about all the changes at Main Street and everything, Dan?
If you'd asked me 10, 15 years ago, would this have happened? I probably says there's no way Brighton's going to turn into, a great-
Northville.
Yeah, well, but it's progress. I mean, I was just talking to Rob and saying, if you look downtown, I mean, even though the new buildings are new, but they still sort of blend in with the architecture down here.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you have events like this and you see all the people down here and, and it's sort of funny. It's like the young generation, but, it's as we get older, that happens. There's that younger generation that comes up.
It's funny you say that because I've been down there for now 2 days, almost 2 days, and sometimes you do these podcasts and it's all a learning experience. You feel like you get better and better and better.
Right.
And I think your guests get better and better and better, from Darren McCarty to Mama Shu to Mickey Redmond to Mark Messner.
Yeah.
I mean, guys like Lance Parrish. But here's what I'm finding is my nephew's a big Fogo face-off guy with lacrosse, and he just played for Quint Copenhaver's dad over here football with Mike Lawrence and Nowacek.
Okay.
They're great. Dave Nowacek. These are great coaches, and some few other guys. But what I'm finding, I'm going to start interviewing those guys, because these young people look at these pictures of these legends,
Right.
and they just,
Who are they?
who's that? Who's that?
Yeah.
My wife would put it in this way, that a lot of kids, and they have the attention span of a gnat.
Yeah.
And, it's like So I'm actually going to start really trying to get some younger people.
Well, you know what? If you look at it, I mean, going from my kids growing up to looking at my grandkids, their pace in life is so much different.
Yeah.
And when we grew up in neighborhoods. We had in the park. No one worried about getting, taken away. Mom said be home at dinner.
Streetlights are on.
Streetlight, you come home. And
Yeah.
You could be down the park. You could be 3 blocks over. But as each generation has grown up, it's gotten more, I don't know if you say dangerous, but it's like, kids aren't just allowed to go walking. We used to hitchhike. You
Yeah.
don't see anybody hitchhiking
Right.
anymore.
Yeah, we'd hitchhike to Camp Dearborn from Redford.
Yeah, right.
Redford Beach.
Yeah,
Or
but-
Mama Mia's out there. And
But you don't do that now because of it's not safe.
yeah, it
And,
isn't.
and if you look at the pace of these young kids, I mean, we grew up being kids.
Yeah.
They're almost pushed into mini adulthood right off the bat because they got to be doing all this stuff and that. So you got to feel for them.
Well, I listened to Aaron Babbitt's on Thursday, the athletic director at Catholic Central. I went to an alumni meeting for him. They allowed me a lowly St. Agatha grad to, be blessed with.
Bless the halls of Catholic Central. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Justice Asante invited
Right.
me back to Archangel into the club a
Right.
couple of years ago. It felt good. But one of his comments was, he's clear with his coaches at CC. He says, listen, if a kid comes to you, you're a football, hockey, baseball player, and he says, I want to play another sport, you better let him play. It's not it's not you.
Right.
He said, we want and we need multi-sport athletes.
Yes.
Drew Henson played. He was like he could have been in basketball, but I'm sure he was all state baseball, football, and he did. Basketball is the third sport. But,
Right. But when we all grew up playing in high school, everyone played 3 or 4 sports.
Yeah.
You went from one sport to the next. It wasn't like you didn't train all year for one sport.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was more fun, eh?
It was
Dan?
fun.
It was
It
fun.
was fun.
We had a blast. Well, with grandson Austin Slazarczyk, I was just talking about. Michelle and I have flown out east to Washington, D.C. and Pennsylvania. We have had 2 trips flying him out to play lacrosse.
Wow.
He was 12. He's just turned 13. But here's my point. This kid, you and I would grab a buddy next door, get him on your handlebars. He'd have the bat, you'd have a mitt, you'd have a ball, and
Yeah.
we'd go to a field, Dan, and all of a sudden other guys ride by on their bikes. We'd have 20, 25 guys. They don't, that's
They don't
not.
have- It's not. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but you figure these kids are put into situations with all these travel teams and that way young.
Yeah.
We did that when we got a little older, but they're doing it at 8, 9, 10 years old. And I don't know if it's right or wrong, but they're not being able to grow up as a kid anymore. They're being actually trained to be an athlete.
Well, and
And maybe
interesting.
that's a society. I don't know, but I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I think it's tough.
It's the way it is. Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm friends with Bobby Miller. His dad, Bob Miller Sr., was part of the Gas House gang, I think Philadelphia or something,
Yeah.
played in the World Series. Coach UD College for 40-some years. Bobby's a close friend of mine from
I
Rockford.
almost went to school there.
Did you?
He was a coach there.
Yeah, he's a good
Yeah.
guy. Lee Bjerke was there too,
Yeah.
as a coach.
Yeah.
But the point was is that what happened was, and Bobby Miller's involved, and we've been trying to get John Smoltz on the show for a month or so. We'll get him.
Okay.
John, my sister taught him at St. Gerard's in Lansing.
Okay, gotcha.
You use connections, right? Yeah.
Right.
So here's what's interesting. He just spent a few $1 million, I don't know how many millions up in Lansing, to build a field where kids can go play baseball, and they play like we played. I guess they throw the bat, but they throw it,
Do the hand thing.
up
All
in,
that. You could-
put your fingers,
yeah, right.
bottle caps,
Right.
all that thing, and there's no parents involved.
Right.
I think
That's-
they use a hard rubber ball maybe, but there might be a parent up in the press box, but they are resolving their own issues.
Right. Well,
They don't
look,
need.
You said when we played, there was no in the Sandlot.
Yeah.
It was just kids.
Yeah.
You know.
We didn't have any
You
parents
got a
ever.
fist fight, you did, and then you went back to play baseball.
We didn't want them around, and
Right.
they didn't want us
That's right.
around.
No, you said.
How many kids did you have? My parents had 8.
We had 5.
Yeah,
So
they
that's
were
solid.
saying,
Yeah.
you got a brother living in Brighton, don't you?
He's in Howell. Jimmy's in Howell.
Somebody had told me they were neighbors with
Yeah,
them
yeah,
here earlier.
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's a nice community here.
Huh. Well, we've been out here since '84, so we've seen it grow. You know?
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
Real estate wise, what's happened is it's crazy. Still a high the seller's market.
It's still a seller's market, but I think prices have sort of, and again, it's what price range you're in. So I don't know if this is a precise way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that, one of our big issues is still so many people have interest rates on their mortgages that are 2.7, 3 point, and, they look at a scenario, hey, maybe I've got a big house and I'd like to scale down, but they lose their tax advantages because of, their homestead they've probably been in a while. They've got an interest rate that is really low. And if they sell it, okay, now they might have equity they're going out with, but go to buy something, they're using all that equity up with a higher interest rate. And now the cap went off, and now they got a new tax payment that is a lot more than they're paying. So it's sort of a going in reverse when it comes to building that equity.
Well, I sure wish our president would put a little more pressure on
Yeah.
that dude. He's, what's his name? The guy who's
Powell?
Yeah,
Powell?
yeah.
I think he is, okay. And I heard that, I hate hearsay,
Yeah.
but a couple of my lender buddies, they're saying that you'll start seeing them come down in the next 30 days.
Well, if Dan Mulvihill
No,
says it.
yeah,
I
right.
mean,
I said hearsay, okay, hearsay. I'm
Sorry.
not predicting that's going to happen.
Sorry. Then I can't bring up the Detroit Catholic Central, my Hall of Fame stuff. I
Yeah,
won't talk
no,
about
please
that
don't do
either.
that.
No.
No.
I was that's a joke.
Yeah.
But no, you had quite a career. You hit 667 your senior year, I believe.
My junior year.
Junior year.
Yeah, my junior year.
Nobody's ever done that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in. See, back then you got to remember it was all Catholic League.
Yeah.
We had there was all Catholic League. There was no playoffs with the public schools, nothing like that. There's no even all state teams.
Yeah.
Back then it was all Catholic, So I was blessed to be on the all Catholic team 2 years in a row as a catcher, and my junior year I was fortunate to hit 667, and I was talking to Jim Gibbons and that, and I said, Jim, I just would check to see if anyone's ever beat that.
Yeah.
He hasn't come back to me yet, so I don't know.
I see guys hit 400. They're ecstatic in high school. So, no, I think you're pretty confident that. And what's pretty amazing, it shows, man, you had some skills, dude. I mean, that's and you were football, you're halfback there, and you played with Marks and Massey, some legends at CC.
Yep.
And the coach was Foley.
Bill Foley, yes.
Yeah. I remember.
Well, a quick story, and this is back, we were, I'll say, very blessed as a senior class, okay? And back then, we were I think we were the first offensive line that averaged 200 pounds in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's the
Outside linebacker.
Yeah, right.
No, safety.
Well, and then our backfield averaged 195 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just a big team, but then injuries sort of depleted us, But, Greg went on to Notre Dame to be the All-American there, and Jim went to Notre Dame. He didn't start, but, we had some exceptional athletes in that group, Hockey players, Kenny Lerg and Danny Carroll and Ron Gutowski that went to state.
So he's 6'11" or
Yeah. So we were just, they just, had great athletes. We had great seasons, okay?
Well, the athletes that came through there is, one of my favorite guys on the planet is Mark Messer. He's a friend, and Tanana, he was quite the pitcher.
Frank is, and I'll tell you a quick story with the way baseball was set up with Father Miller. Father Miller was our coach, okay? So you could not play varsity baseball until you were a junior at Catholic Central under Father Miller, no matter how good you were. How good you were.
Seriously?
Seriously. So, And I don't know if, because Frank, I think, was a freshman when I was a senior. I'd have loved to have caught him, you know.
Yeah.
But I'd never even seen him very much because we didn't play with each other. But I think that's changed now. But you had to be a junior to play on the varsity baseball team, not at any of the other sports, but the baseball team.
I think Michigan had a football rule that for a little while too, for under maybe bowl or before bowl.
No, see, this is our freshman year at Michigan. Okay.
Yeah.
Every team had a freshman team, and that was the last.
Oh,
that was it. That was the last year, and then after our sophomore years, okay, is when that got so anybody could play. Everyone played varsity. There was no JVs back then.
Okay.
So everyone had a freshman team, all the sports at Michigan, and that.
Oh, so you played freshman baseball there?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that Murdo or who was the coach?
Moby Benedict.
Benedict.
Yeah, right.
And Bill Freehand came in after you.
As coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was ahead of me for going there, you know.
Uh-huh.
But, when we were there, we had Mickey Stanley, Jim Northrup, Ted Simmons would come in spring, when we were in the wintertime. They'd come in and do some batting and that with us. So I played against Ted in high school. So
Ted Simmons?
Yeah, I knew him pretty well.
Was he from Southfield?
Southfield,
yeah.
Great athlete, too, by the way. Great athlete.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, there were. And Bill Fahey was from Redford Union.
Yeah.
We had, I had fun here a couple weeks. I didn't tell you, Dan.
Okay.
We went to Darren McCarty's golf outing. We've been going the last few years. Darren's pretty cool. Our foursome was, we had Jeff Wiska from CC, Michigan State.
Okay.
7 years in the NFL.
Right.
Dave Rosema.
Okay.
And Lance Parrish. And
right.
I felt like, I made it out of St. Agatha sports.
Right.
But a guy like Lance Parrish, you could golf 18 holes with him. If nobody brought it up, he'd never bring it up. He's the most humble guy on the planet.
Right.
Lance is cool.
Yeah. Well, and I think, and I'll say as an average, but most good athletes don't talk about themselves.
Yeah.
They're very humble because I think they feel, my dad, I'll tell you a quick little story. My dad said to me when I was growing up, he says, if you got to talk about yourself and you're not doing what you need to do on the field, you let other people talk about you, about what you accomplished, not you telling people what you did.
Yeah.
I always thought that was a great advice.
Yeah, I heard Deion Sanders' dad told him that too.
For sure.
Barry Sanders' dad told him that, I'm sure. Hey, we've got this Greater Brighton Chamber of Commerce, and Karen Story and Rob Johnson are spearheading it. And this is just a shout out to those guys.
Right.
Thank you. It's a lot of work putting something like this on.
Well, and I think, and I'm on the chamber board, and I think people don't realize that the time and the effort that goes in to put something like this on, it starts after this. They'll be planning it for next year because it's a big event.
Yeah.
And I think they've done a great job in sort of refining it, tuning it to make it, very friendly. Having the music right here, I think, is great. I think it's just a real plus that Karen has done here.
Yeah, it's great. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. You wouldn't know this. I just found out about an hour and a half ago. And we're members of the Knights of Equity, and we do a lot of really good things. St. Christine's Soup Kitchen, we gave them a check for $23,000 a few months ago. But we do other stuff, Dan, and as a group, and it's a great group. And I've been like, I got elected as like an honorable vice Sir Knight.
Okay.
Well, the honorable Knight, the guy who runs
so I have
the
to call you
Haven.
Sir Ron now?
No, well, yeah, it was vice Sir Knight. Now I just want you to
call me Sir.
Sir Knight.
Sir
Jess is good. All right. So
all right, gotcha.
That's the most humble I can be.
All right,
brother.
All right. Good.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Hey, it was great talking to you as always, Ron.
Always.
Have a good. All right, thank you. Love you too. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dan. Bye.